Harrowing scenes from heart of India's capital, Delhi. At least 8 people were killed and more than 20 were injured when a car exploded just outside the Red Fort on the 10th of November. Our prayers are with those families who lost their loved ones. Our top focus remains on this terror incident. Hello and welcome to Inside South Asia. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Let's begin. After the deadly car blast, a new CCTV footage has been revealed that captured the exact moment the I-20 car exploded. Take a look. In this video, you can see the slow-moving car erupting into flames in rush hour traffic, damaging nearby vehicles and buildings. The blast was so powerful that several nearby vehicles were destroyed and people could hear the blast from more than a kilometer away. Shattered glass, dismembered body parts, bloodstains, and parts of vehicles lined the road, which led to the Red Fort. The incident unleashed a scene of devastation in the heart of national capital. In a recent development, DNA testing has confirmed that the man driving the I-20 car involved in the blast near Red Fort in New Delhi was Dr. Umar Nabi. These were samples that were taken from his mother that were matched with the remains recovered from the blast site. Although an official confirmation is awaited in the matter, another major development was when a Red Fort EcoSport was registered in the name of Dr. Umar was found parked outside a house near Khandavali village in Faridabad on Wednesday. The search for the car began after investigation into the blast revealed that another car in addition to the I-20 was involved in the blast. The Delhi registered vehicle was recovered and examined by the National Security Guard bomb disposal team, accompanied by a sniffer dog. Take a look at this report.
Locals in Khandavali are in a state of disbelief and shock as they find their village at the center of an ongoing investigation that is related to the deadly blast which ripped through the national capital on Monday evening. Now, behind me in the background, just a few hundred meters away, is the red EcoSport, the SUV that is currently under investigation for any link it may have to the deadly Monday evening blasts. Now, Faridabad police spokesperson has said once the vehicle was apprehended that this in fact was brought here by an acquaintance of Dr. Omar, which is the prime suspect in this terror incident. What kind of role this acquaintance had to play, what the investigation reveals, all of this is currently underway.
In one of the most alarming terror crackdowns in recent times, investigators have uncovered a multi-state terror network, also described as a white-collar terror network in India, that spans across professions and cities. Several arrests have been made, which reveal a disturbing ecosystem involving doctors. On 12th of November, the Union Cabinet passed a resolution which called the blast a terror incident. Prime Minister Modi also visited LNJP hospital to meet the injured after coming back from his 2-day tour of Bhutan, where he said that the culprits behind this heinous act will not be spared.
हमारी एजेंसियां इस षड्यंत्र की तह तक जाएगी। इसके पीछे के षड्यंत्रकारियों को बख्शा नहीं जाएगा। All those responsible will be brought to justice.
On the 10th of November, Pakistan's Senate, the upper house of parliament, approved a constitutional amendment that many analysts say will give the powerful army chief, Field Marshal Munir, an expanded role and curb the remit of the Supreme Court of Pakistan. The opposition, which boycotted the session, has called the move undermining of democracy. On Wednesday, following a 2-day-long debate, Pakistan's National Assembly passed a controversial bill with the required 2/3 majority. Our next report brings you the details.
Pakistan military has once again proceeded to tighten its grip over the levers of power, albeit not staging an outright takeover.
The Constitution 27th Amendment Bill 2025, as reported by the Standing Committee, be taken into consideration at once.
On Monday, the controversial 27th Amendment Bill was presented in the Senate by the Law Minister Azam Nazir Tarar, while Senate Chairman Yusuf Raza Gilani presided over the proceedings.
64 members are in favor of the motion. I now put the motion before the House. The question is that the bill further to amend the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, the Constitution 27th Amendment Bill 2025 be passed. The members, along with their division, members may please move either to the ayes to my right or noes to my left as they wish.
Following the boycott of the debate by the opposition, the controversial 27th Amendment Bill sailed through the Senate in merely 3 hours, an unusually swift procedure for a constitutional change.
I now announce the result of voting. 64 members are in favor of the motion. Regarding passage of the bill and none against it. So the motion is carried by the votes of not less than 2/3 of the total membership of the Senate, and consequently the bill stands passed.
To put things into perspective, the 26th Amendment, also criticized by the opposition and still under challenge in the Supreme Court, was passed last year only after months of public debate. What makes the 27th Amendment so controversial, drawing criticism, is both the contents of the proposed amendment as well as the hasty manner in which the Pakistani government has sought to push it.
What is happening essentially is that the Supreme Court of Pakistan would cease to exist, and it will become a court which only entertains civil and criminal applications, petitions, appeals, and so on and so forth. Whereas a new court, which is going to be called the Federal Constitutional Court, is going to be established, and it is only going to hear constitutional matters of significance importance. So essentially, you're diluting the Supreme Court altogether and having a constitutional court.
Noteworthy is the fact that in recent years, the Pakistan Supreme Court has at times put its foot down and blocked government policies and even ousted prime ministers. Articulating the judiciary's stance, 2 Supreme Court judges, in addition to several lawyers and former judges, have requested Chief Justice of Pakistan, Yahya Afridi, to play his role and act as the guardian of the judiciary's independence. The 27th Amendment of the Constitution, through changes to Article 243 of Pakistan's Constitution, would effectively grant immunity to the topmost military leaders from criminal prosecution, while also reshaping the military's command structure. So what does it mean for us in Munir?
The only thing that Article 243 has done is give immunity to officers who are granted an honorary position of Field Marshal. They will have immunity for life.
Under the new law, Asim Munir, after completion of his term, would retain his rank and will have legal immunity for life. In the glaring absence of any meaningful consultation with the political opposition, the wider legal fraternity and civil society, the Pakistani government's urgency in pushing through an amendment bill puts a big question mark over its intentions.
Staying on Pakistan, a suicide bombing killed at least 12 on Tuesday and wounded dozens. Pakistan's Minister of Defense, Khwaja Asif, has accused Afghanistan of involvement in Islamabad blast. Time and again, Pakistan has accused Afghanistan of sheltering TTP militants and used their soil to launch attacks on Pakistani soil. Taliban has repeatedly denied any such role in attacks. Khwaja Asif added that we are in a state of war, further emphasizing how the rulers of Kabul can stop terror in Pakistan. Leaders of the Pakistani Taliban offshoot Jamaat-ul-Ahrar and Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan rejected claims linking them to suicide bombing in Islamabad that killed 12 people. Taliban leadership of Afghanistan has banned trade and transit of goods with Pakistan. Mullah Abdul Ghani Baradar, the Taliban's Deputy Prime Minister for Economic Affairs, has announced that the group will no longer allow the import of Pakistani goods into Afghanistan, including pharmaceutical products. Shifting our focus to Bhutan and India ties now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in the Himalayan kingdom this week. India reaffirmed its unwavering support for its neighbour, from cultural diplomacy to strengthening their bilateral ties. Here's a look at this landmark visit.
In a world divided by wars, conflicts and politics, Bhutan is sending a message of peace in its own way. This is the Global Peace Prayer Festival being held in Thimphu that brought together eminent lamas or monks from all schools of Buddhism in Bhutan and beyond.
Bhutan is hosting this a landmark global peace prayer festival, which is something like a non-sectarian approach, where we bring in Buddhist and spiritual masters from across the world, and also the renowned personalities.
Following the Buddha's teaching, we understand that to be happy, to be peaceful, you need to make others happy and peaceful first.
In Bhutan, we have a very strong spiritual tradition of conducting prayers for peace, peace of all sentient beings.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi was among the main dignitaries who attended the festival during his 2-day tour of the Himalayan kingdom. Modi, along with Bhutan's King Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuk and Prime Minister Dasho Tshering Tobgay, attended the Kalachakra Abhishek, a Buddhist ceremony at the Changlimithang Stadium. He also met the 4th King of Bhutan, Jigme Singye Wangchuk, for his 70th birthday celebrations. The pre-planned visit came hours after a deadly blast ripped through India's national capital. In the aftermath, a moment of silence was observed for the blast victims at the event in Bhutan.
But above all, we would like to take a moment and pray for the people who sadly lost their lives yesterday in Delhi. We'd like to pray for them.
The visit of Prime Minister Modi also coincides with the exposition of the sacred Piprawa relics of Lord Buddha from India. In a profound gesture of spiritual and cultural fellowship, the sacred relics of Lord Buddha, enshrined at the National Museum in New Delhi, arrived at the Kingdom of Bhutan for a public exposition from the 8th to 18th of November. Moving from cultural and spiritual aspect, all eyes were on bilateral cooperation. Modi inaugurated the India-funded 1,020 megawatt Punat Sangchu 2 hydroelectric power project, which he said would increase Bhutan's hydropower generating capacity by nearly 40%. Further to this, India and Bhutan expanded their energy ties on Tuesday during Modi's visit, where he extended a 40 billion rupee or $455 million line of credit to the Himalayan nation. Earlier in September, India announced that it will build the first cross-border railway lines connecting both countries, with the $454 million project to be completed in 4 years. In a region often defined by imbalance and uncertainty, such projects are strengthening the ties between Thimphu and New Delhi.
Our next story is from Bangladesh, a Muslim majority nation of 170 million people. Alcohol, which is forbidden in Islam, is strictly regulated in the country. In an ironic twist of fate, Bangladesh's only licensed distillery has posted record profit in 2024-2025. We bring you this surprising success story.
Bangladesh, the world's 4th most populous Muslim nation, plunged into political instability in August 2024, when a student-led mass uprising toppled the government of the then Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. During her 15-year reign, she was frequently criticized for extensive human rights abuses and had adopted a hardline approach towards Islamists. Following her removal, the Islamists have staged a political comeback, demanding restrictions on cultural activities which they deem anti-Islamic, including music and theatre festivals, women's football matches and kite flying celebrations. Interestingly, alcohol has escaped their condemnation, at least so far. In a surprising success story, Bangladesh's only licensed distillery, a state-owned producer which was established under the British rule 87 years ago, posted record profit of $10 million in 2024-25 and paid the equivalent amount in taxes.
Yes, it can be said that this is the highest profit since the company's establishment. Among all the profits Keru has made in its history, this year was the highest. Another thing is that the Bangladesh government is running this company so that money doesn't leave the country. We don't do any marketing for this. We never encourage anyone new to drink. We only sell to those who already do.
At the sprawling Darsana facility near the Indian border, humming machines fill bottles with the company's popular brands, ranging from whiskey to vodka, distilled from sugarcane with flavorings imported from the Netherlands. 38-year-old Shah Alam, a devout Muslim and an employee in the bottling unit, has never tasted the products, but lavishes praise on the distillery for its contributions to the local community, from education to employment.
I work here, that's true, but I don't drink anything from here, nor am I involved with the selling. All I am doing here is my job. The Darsana market has been created around this company, while the bus stations and railway stations were also set up here. Hundreds of people have been employed here. Our children are studying here. Our life has evolved around this company.
Buying an alcoholic drink in Bangladesh requires a government permit issued only to those aged over 21 years, and mainly granted to non-Muslims who compose nearly 10% of the Bangladeshi population. Exemptions exist for certain communities, which include foreigners and 150,000 mainly Hindu workers on the country's tea estates, where the low-cost liquor is popular. In a country where dangerous adulteration of imported liquor has been a persistent problem, the reliable and cheaper alcohol from the state-owned producer is not only a safe option, but a lucrative one as well.
In Pakistan, the gender affirmation surgery was legalized in 2018, a landmark step aimed at strengthening the political and social rights of the country's transgender community. But behind the veil of the progressive law is hidden the harsh reality wherein many trans people are still forced to undergo unsafe confidential procedures driven by stigma, fear and high medical costs. Our next report explores.
In the city of Lahore, Bunty, a transgender woman, finally fulfilled her long-awaited dream of gender affirmation surgery, but the joy was short-lived. Even though the procedure was legal, it was done in secrecy. Bunty, who no longer uses her family name since her transition, alleges that she was deprived of proper care at the hospital.
In Lahore, there was a doctor who did breast implant surgeries. I contacted him privately, I went to him, and then he operated on me, privately, in secret. He didn't tell anyone. I should have had 2 or 3 days of rest in the hospital after the surgery, but I didn't. I only spent 2 hours there. After the surgery was done, they sent me away so that no one would find out about it.
It was the latest ignominy in Bunty's life, as soon after, she was sacked from the job that paid for her hospital bills, pushing her into sex work. Bunty's experience isn't a solitary one, as there are very few hospitals willing to offer such services openly. Doctors are, more often than not, fearful of a social backlash. Public hospitals often turn patients away in the name of religion.
जाके बताएं कि मैं अपनी
If I say I want to get a breast implant, they would remove me from there in the name of religion, saying, "Fear God, what are you going to do?" Even though providing care is the responsibility of healthcare providers.
Many trans people, unable to afford professional care, turn instead to unqualified practitioners, risking their lives and health. This underscores the urgent need for better healthcare access and support for the transgender community.
Even if people are aware, they don't always know who to turn to or who the competent specialists are. They don't know. They just follow someone's recommendations, undergo unofficial operations, and then come to me with complications. We perform operations here, but this happens because of a lack of awareness. People need to be better informed so that they can consult the right specialists and receive appropriate treatment.
For many trans Pakistanis, the struggle goes beyond surgery. Social exclusion, family rejection, and violence remain constant threats. According to the Gender Interactive Alliance in Pakistan, 56 trans people have been killed since 2022. It is feared that the actual number may be higher due to severe underreporting. Amid these struggles, voices like Nayab Ali offer hope. A prominent Pakistani transgender activist and politician, she has been advocating and defending the human rights of the transgender community across Pakistan. Recently, Nayab Ali was officially shortlisted by the United Nations Human Rights Council for the position of UN Special Rapporteur on the situation of human rights defenders, marking the first time in UN history that a transgender woman has been shortlisted for such a high-level mandate under the UN Special Procedures System. From the darkness of rejection to the light of recognition, Pakistan's transgender community continues to fight for dignity. Their journeys are quiet revolutions filled with innumerable fights and struggles, but with hope that one day, acceptance won't need secrecy.
This happiness is what matters most to me. Everything else was unimportant. At that time, God had given me money, but this happiness was not there. Today, I no longer have that money, but my inner self has been revealed. I have let people live their lives. I am happy for myself. I am simply happy, very happy with my life.
That's all we have in our show. As we wrap up, we leave you with visuals from across India, where the Indian military is showcasing its prowess, from 93rd Indian Air Force Day celebrations in Northeast India, to joint exercise with Sri Lanka Mitra Shakti in South, to drills in the Western Front. Take a look at how Indian forces are bolstering their strength in every corner of the country. I'm Samiksha Srivastava. Thank you for watching.